Hi, this is JC with Route4Me. Who do we have on the call?
Hi, JC. My name is Steven.
Hi, Steven. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you, JC?
I'm doing pretty good, Steven. Thank you. Just let's go ahead and get started. What questions do you have about your Route4Me account?
Yeah, so I'm really looking to lock down some tracking and some locating for my drivers. I really just
Okay.
want to be able to see all of them on the map, and allow me to um, see some prospective business as well. Yeah, so I'm just really looking to see how your mapping software works with location
Excellent.
for drivers. Yeah.
Absolutely. What do you guys do?
Yeah, we deliver things to certain buildings that we have contracts with. We handle all different types of products and different services for those businesses.
Okay. So these are like recurring customers
Yep, they're
for the
recurring
most part?
customers. Yeah, and the drivers showing up on location um, is really what's important to us is figuring out how we can do that.
Okay. Not a problem. All right. Well, the first thing we're going to do is going to go into Route4Me. All right. As you come in, um, the best way to go about your customers and making sure that your deliveries are being done on time, and the drivers are doing what they're supposed to be doing, keeping track of that, and making sure that your routes are optimized, would be to simply upload or add all of your customers into a section called address book. Okay, that's on the left-hand side on the main menu. And you can use an address book list or an address book map, okay? And from here, you're able to basically manage your customers and create priorities. You can, if you bring your attention over to the top right, you can see how you can filter addresses based on what's been routed, what hasn't been routed. You can also create groups of addresses that will show you when was the last time it was routed, when was the last time something changed on that customer. In fact, you can also create, when you go to edit addresses, you can edit the location, you can create a time window if you need to. You also can schedule a recurrence. Maybe you visit customers every day, every 2 days, every 3 days, maybe once a week, once a month, things like that. The system will keep track of that. And not only that, when you plan a route, the system will allow you to not only optimize the route, but also when the drivers are using the mobile application, you'll be able to keep track of what they're doing. Make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I definitely want to, keep my customer satisfaction really high. Yeah. Now, what about prospecting for new customers? How can Route for Me help me with that?
Well, it's very simple. All you have to do is just, say, for example, in the area that you want to visualize or you want to go get new customers, all you have to do is just upload a list of potential customers, and you can start seeing on the map what where their locations exactly are, and you can start planning mock routes, if you will, um, just to determine what would the cost be and in which routes you have to add specific customers, so you can add them all into your map and start determining which will be the best way to um, cover those areas. Okay, so let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to plan a route with all of the stops. I use that rectangle option right here. So I'm going to go to File, Plan Route is selected. I'm going to name this route. I'm going to set up a departure point. I'm going to go schedule it. Let's say we're doing this tomorrow. We're at 8 a.m. I'm going to give each stop a 5-minute stop. I'm going to create an optimization, and I'm going to say we're going to create 4 routes, and we're going to do them all round trip. Is that about right? Do they have to come back at the end of the day?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay, create route. And this is where the magic happens. Alrighty. We have our 4 routes. The system is divided those addresses nicely into separate groups, so the drivers go on their own separate ways. Okay, here's the departure point, and drivers went on their own separate way. You can see that, right? Now, let's take a look at one route. Let's say, for example, let's take a look at this part number 4. Okay?
Yep.
You can see how the system keeps the driver busy all the way through, its way out and back in. Now, how do you see? Your main concern is to keep customers happy. Make sure that they're being taken care of, and that makes absolute sense. Okay, that's the only way to move your business forward, and to elevate your customer satisfaction is to basically optimize the route. This is how you keep your customers happy. You optimize the route. You use our tracking functionality. You're able to tell where the drivers are. Then Route4Me also offers a solution for uncertainty. Customers get anxious about when the delivery is going to happen. Am I correct?
Yep.
Right. So
Yep.
When customers start asking questions, where is the driver? Am I going to get my delivery on time? Can I leave and come back before the driver shows up? Those are questions that we can help you solve to your customers. We have an option where you can actually activate a text message that can be sent to your customers. All we need is just what would you like the text message to say, and we'll set it up for you on the back end of your account. And of course, we will need the phone numbers for your customers. Every time you plan a route, that will have to be in there. So the drivers, as the driver progresses, messages will be sent to your customers, letting them know that they're next on the delivery stop. Make sense?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm a little bit skeptical about the arrival times. Are you able to show me anything
Absolutely. Let's go
that?
take a look at that. Let me just open this route. That's an excellent question, Stephen, because arrival times are very important. It's very important to differentiate between an estimated arrival time and an actual arrival time. So what we do at Route4Me, we have dynamic arrival times. Okay, so this dynamic times will also be notified to your customers as the driver progresses through the route. So if a driver is delayed for whatever reason on a second stop or the third stop, all the ETAs will be updated throughout the route, and your customers will know this, so they can plan accordingly.
Okay. Now, are they going to know? Are they going to know exactly where my drivers are?
Well, it's up to you. We do offer a solution. For example, each route comes with a tracking number. Okay, and what you can use is our t.route4me.com, and customers can go onto this website. You can provide this website to your customers, or perhaps have a link to it in your own website so that customers can track. And when they enter the tracking number for the route, they'll be able to see where the driver is located, and they'll be able to find themselves and basically know more or less what time they're going to be delivered or serviced.
Okay. Now, is this something that is this something I can get as a plugin for my website, or do I have to send them to this website?
No, you'll have to send them to this website.
Okay. Do you guys plan on adding anything in the future where I could add this
Yeah,
to my website?
it's part of our API solution. Any of our business plan customers can have access to an API, and they can implement all of this into their own systems.
Okay, great.
hmm Excellent. So once you have control over your drivers, once you're able to know where they are, once your customers can tell what time and when are they up next to be delivered, and once you're able to optimize and consistently deliver on time and keep your drivers on time, that's when your business is going to start moving forward. You'll keep a high percentage of customers. You'll retain more customers that way, and obviously you'll start seeing the results in the revenues.
Okay. Now, what about my driver showing up to locations? Is there any notification that I would receive when a driver showed up to a location?
Absolutely. In fact, there is two ways in which you can have this happen. One of them is our geofence solution. Geofence will show you, let me show you that. Geofence will show you a circle around the stop. It's a virtual circle, right? So when the driver pulls into this area, the system will mark the address visited, and when he drives away, it will mark it departed. Or the driver can actually grab the mobile application, mark address visited, and departed. So you can compare when the driver did it versus when the machine recognized it. They can add text notes, they can collect pictures, they can collect sign-on-glass signatures, and upload videos if they need to.
Okay, so
And use that
so
as
a
proof of
driver
visit.
could upload a comment.
A driver can upload a comment, and that comment will show in your website almost instantaneously, right down here.
Okay.
You create a note.
Yep.
Yep. That's how it works.
Okay, great. And you covered the notification. So the customer, would they receive an email or a text message that the driver
They
was
get a
supposed-
text message, an SMS format, and the system lets them know when they're up next on the delivery sequence.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you know what that
Not only that,
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, so
Go
that
ahead.
reminded me of a question that I asked earlier. So, is there a way to change the API so the customers don't know exactly where my drivers are? I don't necessarily want people flagging down my drivers because they're, tracking.
Absolutely. It's completely up to you what you want your drivers to see, your customers to see. It's up to you.
Okay, great.
hmm Another thing I was going to mention, Stephen, is if you're looking for additional customers, if you're going to go and get new stops to your routes, it's very important that your future clients are able to see that you have a manageable operation, a measurable operation, and a scalable operation, because showing them that you're able to plan your routes efficiently and optimize your sequence and make your drivers show on time, if you're able to show that you can train your drivers at a fast pace and they're going to complete the routes in an efficient manner and in a timely manner, then your new customers will have no problem on giving you their business.
Great. Yeah, this all sounds
hmm
great, JC. I definitely think this will help me with tracking my own drivers and better communication with customers for customer satisfaction, which is really important to us. Making sure the customers
Fantastic.
are happy and that they're
Fantastic.
getting their packages on time. And nothing's worse than the anxiety of not knowing when a delivery driver is showing up, especially for something that's important. So
Absolutely.
it seems like this would really
All
help.
right, Stephen. Well, let's go ahead and move you into the next step. We'll put the documentation together for you to go on and activate your account. Okay. We'll set up that contract and we'll go from there. Okay.
Sounds great, JC. Thank you.
All right, Stephen. You take care.